Okay, so the second update for today is the Shannon Sharpe situation. Most of the time, I I don't get into these. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. They're all rich shitbags who all of the elitists in Hollywood, and he's a former NFL player. He has a big podcast now, the Club Shay Shay, and he interviews all kinds of people. Right, all these shitbags that have money behind the scenes. This is how they compose themselves. This is how they live life, and they present you to you a face that makes them seem like a regular person that's just communicating and reaching out to the masses. And behind the scenes, they're all masochists, narcissists, woman abusers, and what running the gambit of all different things here. But it's blowing up. So many things are going on about it. It's being talked about a lot. So we're going to get into it here. And two things can be true at once in this situation. She can be doing this for her own personal gain to get money, and in my opinion, it certainly seems like she's doing that. But also, he's got some moral problems here in this whole thing, and he backed himself into a corner and dug his own hole as well. So let's get into a little bit of this. I'm going to show some video. We're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to give my thoughts, which I kind of just did. Okay. So, a lawyer for Mr. Sharpe, who hosts the podcast Club Shay Shay, said the sexual encounters were consensual and called the lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt at a shakedown. The girl, through her lawyer, is released some phone calls that she recorded. Now, if anyone's recording phone calls, they've already got an intent in mind. They already know things are going to go a certain way, or a person is going to act a certain way. They're going to say something, incriminate themselves, or say something incriminating, and it could potentially be a win for you, or something you can hold on to down the road to use against that person. So her recording the phone calls is already suspect, and it already seems like she had an agenda in mind. But Shannon Sharpe, the host of the popular sports and pop culture podcast Club Shay Shay, and a former NFL player, was sued by an ex-girlfriend who accused him of rape and sexual assault during a nearly 2-year relationship. The woman, who's described as being in her early 20s, it was 19 when they started it, so he was like 56, and she was 19. So she was legal, but if you're having the conversation from a moral standpoint, there was a massive age difference there, and it doesn't look great. It wasn't illegal, but it doesn't look great. The woman, who is described as being in her early 20s, submitted one complaint anonymously on Sunday in Clark County, Nevada, and is seeking $50 million in damages. She says in a lawsuit that Mr. Sharpe, 56, raped her in her apartment in October and January. The lawsuit says that during the encounters, Mr. Sharpe forced himself upon the woman as she sobbed and begged for him to stop. Lanny J. Davis, a lawyer representing Mr. Sharpe, denied all the accusations in a statement on social media, calling the lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. And she did submit this right before he was about to sell his podcast to a major buyer. So he had a new deal coming through for it was worth $100 million. And he was going to pay her $10 million just to shut her up, so it didn't get in the way of the deals he has going down. And then that kind of fell through, and she pushed forward with everything anyway. And that brings us to where we are right now. Calling the lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars, the lawyer also released graphic messages that he said were texts between Mr. Sharpe and the woman that showed a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by the woman whom he named, right? So everybody's got something. There's nothing really untoward about that. The lawsuit was filed by Tony Busby, a Texas lawyer who has drawn attention for filing more than 36 lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. So the guy that's going after Diddy is also representing this girl now in this case, that accused the music mogul of sexual misconduct. One of the suits also accused the rapper Jay-Z of rape, but that case was withdrawn after some of the details in the accuser's account unraveled, starting a contentious legal battle between Mr. Busby and Jay-Z. In a video posted on social media on Tuesday, Mr. Sharpe said, "This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby. In recent months, Mr. Busby has also filed sexual assault lawsuits against the online influencer Andrew Tate and the Alexander brothers, two of whom were once top real estate brokers. In 2021, he was a lawyer for about 24 women who accused the NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson of sexually harassing or assaulting them during massage appointments. Most of the lawsuits against Mr. Watson were settled. I mean, there's two reasons that you settle in these situations. You want it to go away because it's becoming a PR issue for you, or there's legitimacy to the situation, and paying them off can shut them up so you can move on with your life again. So it's up to everybody else, really, to figure out which one was which, and that can be easier said than done. In a statement about the accusations against Mr. Sharpe, Mr. Busby said, "I look forward to presenting the evidence in this case through the judicial process where the truth matters more than a sports icon's desperate public spin." Mr. Sharpe is a three-time Super Bowl champion and a Pro Football Hall of Fame tight end who has become a media personality since his retirement after the 2003 season. His interview-based podcast, Club Shay Shay, grew in popularity after a January 2024 episode with comedian Cat Williams. You remember Cat blew up everybody that's been... He blew up Diddy, he blew up Jay-Z and the other ones about their sexual misconduct with women, and he turned out to be absolutely right. And Mr. Sharpe also appears on ESPN's morning debate show, First Take, where this is getting in the way of that as well. So let me play one of the released phone calls, and you're going to hear the conversation between him and her. He's coming to visit, and she's being like really low-key and weird and saying, "Oh, well, I don't want to be choked in public," almost like goading and drawing him into the whole thing. But on the other side, he says these things, and he's saying stupid things and threatening actions, and that's problematic too, and it's affecting him and his business.
Everything I say, you're just
that's the girl,
get
by the
mad
way.
At, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
What? What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
So that's the girl in the background. She is on OnlyFans. She's an OnlyFans creator, influencer as well.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
So there was his response to it. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's talk about it. He knows some of this is going to come out anyway, so he's trying to meet it head on or get ahead of it. And you know, it's potentially going to affect his ESPN deal. Who knows if he gets dropped by them? You know, as a womanizer, his sale of his show for $100 million as I've heard, is in jeopardy at this point. So who knows where it goes from here? And really. And again, you're looking at two different things here. Is this woman trying to get money and trying to use this situation? I believe so. Yeah, that's my opinion. But also, he has created this scenario. He's treated her this way. He's saying these things, right? Whether he's joking around, he means it. He's saying it emotionally, whatever it is. And he's digging his own hole in this situation. And this is what happens with a lot of these rich shitbags who get a whole bunch of money. They end up getting into these darker feelings and darker fantasies and wanting to act out and do these things because you get the money, you get the power, you get everyone telling you, yes, sir, whatever you need, sir, you can have it. Oh, millions of dollars? Sure, here you are, no problem. And then their threshold for what makes them happy and what pleases them changes. So instead of appreciating the simple things and maybe keeping yourself out of trouble with stuff like this, you need more. You have to keep going for more. The high has to be more. What you're taking isn't enough, and you get situations like this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about the whole thing. If you think he's totally fucked.